This is the LEGO City Go-Karts and Race Drivers. And I wasn't planning on buying this set, but I needed a bit more for this awesome gift with purchase. And after a quick 5-minute build, we have the completed set, which for a price of $10 gives you exactly what you want. We have two simple yet well-designed go-karts, each have a unique color scheme, and the build is slightly altered so you're not just building the same thing twice. All of these pieces are also printed, which is nice. Then we have the representative drivers of each of the cars, and they both have torso and back printing, but have no alternate face for each. And lastly, we have the trophy they'll be competing for, but for that, they have to race. So how are we going to make that happen? And that's where this Technic lever comes in. It'll be rotating around an axle, and the bigger side you can hit down to launch the car. I wanted to add more weight to add more force to the mechanism, but the standard design seemed to work better, so that's what we're sticking with. I also kept the axle length pretty short to make it more stable. I'm incorporating colors from each of the karts into their respective launchers. I'm using these colors for Kart 21, and you saw a bit of that with the red spacers in the Technic construction. To start, we'll make a black base that fits around the car, and then we'll build on top of it. We'll get some flat gray 2x8s to support the base, followed by this slope section in the back, which will allow the lever to come down and hit the car, while also adding some detail with these red highlights. I'm adding this Technic piece so you can connect multiple launchers together, and then I'll build up the rest of this sidewall. Except for using these pieces to create a shelf, we'll build up the walls relatively the same. I added another gray layer for some height, and on the connection side, there's another Technic hole. And then we finished off this layer with some tiling. With two more angled pieces, we're now allowed to put our mechanism onto the base. The top of the launcher was finished with sloping, which added support and some detail. And then I focused on the front, where the car is guided out into the race. And lastly, I finished up the shelf with a bit of color and a trophy made from an extra piece that came with the set. Here is the completed launcher for Kart 21. Let's see it in action. And of course, we'll build a launcher for Racer 4. We'll use the black, magenta, and turquoise from the car's color scheme, but I don't actually own any of this turquoise unless it's a brick separator. So we'll have to use this lighter blue instead. We'll start with the same basic shape, and then build up the wall with the Technic side being almost identical except for color and the front sloping. Then we'll build a shelf wall, which this side will be slightly different with the use of some snot bricks to add some color. I'll also finish off the ramp with these blue highlights. Next we have the gray layer with the other Technic pin connection point, then we tile it off. The splash of red is meant to reference the muffler color on the go-kart. We can now apply a similar lever mechanism. I finished the top by having a similar design as before, and I mirrored the guides for this side. Again, we finished with the shelf, and this time I'll give them a bunch of silver medals. One last Technic pin is all we need before we can connect the two together and finally race them. You just saw the black car go further, so why am I giving them silver medals? Well, physics. Let's say theoretically we get the same amount of energy transferred to the cars. Kinetic energy is 1/2 mass times velocity squared. Potential energy is ruled out since the car is on the ground. Between the two cars, Kart 4 is heavier. Based on our kinetic energy equation, a heavier mass will result in a lower velocity. Let's go a step further. When moving, the car will be stopped by a frictional force caused by the wheels touching the ground. Frictional force is a constant times normal force. The constant u is the same as they have the same wheels, and the normal force is equal to the weight in this scenario. We determined the black car was heavier, so it has a greater frictional force working against the velocity as well. So that's why Kart 21 will always win gold. With that settled, I'm still not done with this build, because I want to make a section in between these two. We'll start with this 8x8 base, and add these 2x1 pieces to remove some studs from the front wall. We'll then use more of these slope pieces, and then add some large vents, and a 1x8 to finish it off. Focusing on the interior, we'll have this structural column, a gas canister, this small engine assembly, and 2 racks containing some tools. The bottom of each side will have a Technic piece, and then we'll have some archways to add more detail, and this will be mirrored on both sides. For the back, we'll build up some 2x2 columns with a stud connection on either side. Then we'll connect all the walls and tile it off. I want to make one of those stadium lights, so we'll start with this support piece. We'll add some connections and light fixtures that will attach to either side. We'll add a wider base with a Technic beam, place it on the rest of the build, and connect it with the 2 launchers. And here it is all together, as well as working in action. I did make some more changes, like having the 3 segments connect at the bottom, and another connection on the top, which made the build more secure, but you can't separate it anymore. And finally, we need something to race to, a finish line. So I started with this simple base, added 2 connection points, then added tiling and slopes, as well as 2 pieces used as blockers. Then this assembly here, which will hold the trophy. And then 4 more slope pieces as 2 columns. I completed the archway with a few more pieces, and then layered it on with detail. To top it all off, I have this perfect checkered flag piece. Next, we have a checkered design, which we'll add some plates to. This will need some Technic to connect to the main build, as well as a part on this side, and another to hold it in place. We'll make a duplicate and attach them. Lastly, we'll put on some final details and finish off by placing the trophy in the center. A kart wins when they break through the finish line first. Everything is built and it's finally time to race, and I'm going to choose kart number 4 to see if I can will it to a victory, while my brother will control the other racer. We'll do a best of 3 and see who comes out on top. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Unfortunately, Kart 4 lost every single best of 3, and even in our closest race, couldn't squeak out a victory. Which means Kart 21 is still our undisputed champion. That is all I have for this video. I hope you enjoyed watching the process of taking this small $10 set and transforming it into something massive with my LEGO collection and a bit of creativity. If you made it this far, I appreciate it, and here's a blooper for your time. 3, 2, 1. This has been Nico Town, and thank you for watching and listening.